Welcome to Bob and Shep's Wrestling Podcast, Episode 4. So we've just finished watching Raw, fast forwarding through most of it as usual.
But we liked it. For the first time since we started the show, we've
actually enjoyed an episode of Raw.
It was good. I would say my favourite moment anyway was the Kofi, what's his name?
Kofi Kingston.
Kofi Kingston, when he beat Charlie Huss. And then, what's so funny about that name? It's a good name.
What, Kofi Kingston or Charlie Haas?
Charlie Huss. He laughed when I said Charlie Huss.
I just don't rate him.
He's good. He's got the Haas of Pain as a finisher. It's an awesome move. But anyway, Virtual came out and he did something that I liked. It was that...
I know, shock horror.
It was that neck breaker thing he did was really good.
And then he reverted to my favourite hold, where he sort of cups the guy's chin afterwards, while hugging him from behind.
He was obviously tired after a difficult wrestling match. He had to help him with his chin a little bit. It was...
Well, yeah, of course. You have to give Birchall some credit.
So that was good. Credit where it's due. Birchall is they're going to put him in the Intercontinental title scene now.
I hope so. He's earned it from just because he's English, and I'm just rooting for some English wrestlers to do well. And I know they're not very well received in America. Like William Regal gets booed in America, but we cheered him quite a lot when we went to watch Raw.
Just because he uses his knuckle.
And one of my favourite bits of Raw was the JBL car situation.
Oh, what do you think about that?
I thought they were stereotyping Crime Time to a really bad degree, just saying. But,
I thought so. And
all Crime Time do is go around smashing up cars and being bad.
John Cena just hires them specifically for the purpose
of
scribbling on
what
a car.
What did he write it? JBL is a...
Poopy.
Poopy. Yeah. What kind of twat? Sorry, John Cena is a twat. Writes JBL is poopy on a fucking...
I've got to admit, I don't agree with that, but before he became a Marine, he was a rapper, so he had a bit of bad influence there.
Bad influence, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, rapping is bad, we all know that.
But I mean, that was just terrible. That bit for me spoiled a really good Raw.
But wasn't it salvaged at the end?
Oh yeah, Kane. Boy was it salvaged. Kane, that was a beautiful piece of... If it was a movie, that would have won an Oscar. Yeah. I mean, he got beaten and then suddenly started shaking violently and then started shouting, "Is he dead? Is he dead or alive? Is he alive or dead?"
And we think he's talking about Paul Bearer, don't we?
Well, yeah, because apparently in 2004 The Undertaker killed his own father. Why there were no charges brought to The Undertaker for killing someone on live TV? I mean, they had all the evidence they needed to put him away.
I mean, you got the live footage, haven't you?
I know, but somehow The Undertaker... He gets away with everything. He assaulted a woman. He assaulted Vicky Guerrero and gets away with it, and it angers me.
But if it means that Paul Bearer returns to wrestling, it will all be worthwhile. Hopefully he brings back a few vampires and we go back to that era of wrestling, which I love so much. It was just Halloween every day.
Every Monday night. Just loads of vampires and sort of stupid, idiotic people wearing cloaks.
But yeah, I did like that. I like to see Kane becoming a heel again. He's a bit of a ridiculous face.
Well, maybe he'll put his mask back on. I mean, the mask coming off was a very anticlimactic. After all those years saying that he was caught in loads of fires.
Although, didn't you enjoy that they started to say, they're psychological wounds, and then he had soot marks on his face. Now, is there a pharmacist you can go to with psychological burns where you can buy psychological soot?
Yeah.
Just to make you
think that you were actually in a fire.
Well, it doesn't make sense, does it? But
no,
it's brilliant. I love it when WWF go down that angle. With
WWF. Yeah.
It's
funny that you say WWF because last night someone said, "Are you still doing that podcast about the WWF?" And we went, "Yeah, we do a podcast about animals."
And then we realised that's actually what we do.
The last 3 podcasts have mainly been about animal gimmicks and animals. So yeah, it's quite true that we do we will talk about some more animal gimmicks later. No doubt.
I think on this show, going back to the gimmicks thing, we should concentrate on religious gimmicks.
Religious gimmicks.
And one of the religious gimmicks they've had on wrestling that really ticked me off was Evolution. Now,
that was a religious gimmick?
Yes, because do you really believe that Ric Flair came out of the water, just evolved into Ric Flair?
Well, I don't know. He's got quite sort of saggy, wrinkly, wet skin, so I could see it.
Right, so okay, you take that, but then he evolved into what? Triple H, who spits water, and then he evolved into Batista and Randy Orton. Now,
because I guess it's going from old to young, is it?
Yeah, right, that was evolution. But I mean, the only similarity is that they all wear pants. We all know that Vince McMahon created them in his own image.
God created wrestlers in pants, and that's the way it's staying.
But that did annoy me slightly, the whole evolution thing. We all know that's rubbish.
And then you have Mordecai, wasn't he?
Mordecai was, basically his religion was he stamps his staff down to the ground and lights up the ring. And he kind of looked like...
That's kind of a cheap Undertaker, really, wasn't
he? Was a cheap Undertaker, but he looked a bit like God, so I forgive him.
God?
He did.
God looks like Kevin the Vampire, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, we've obviously had Deacon Dave Batista.
Deacon Dave Batista, who miraculously turned into an animal.
And Great Khali, who prays to evil Hindu gods.
Yes, he does pray to evil Hindu gods.
What evil Hindu gods? Like, who prays to them? Like, why?
Well, Great Khali does, They're evil, and they're Hindu, and they're causing havoc in sport.
Yeah.
There is no place for religion in sport, if you ask me. It's overrated.
Let's go with that, especially evolution.
Why? I don't see... forget evolution.
Okay.
What apart from Paul Bearer, he's obviously religious, because he carries an urn, and...
Yeah, true.
Do they have religious ceremonies when they...
resurrect the Undertaker?
Resurrect them.
Possibly. I hope he buries someone else from the dead and comes back. We know he's coming back. I hope he's got another dead character.
Yeah, Paul Bearer, he's an interesting one. I think... because the Undertaker's off sick at the moment. Well, he's probably not off sick, he's probably off being...
Dead.
He's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. He's coming, and there'll be another Undertaker that replaces him.
I don't know why
there's been about 4 Undertakers. I don't know there's been 4 Undertakers.
One.
What?
Mean Mark Calloway, who then became the Undertaker, and he's been the Undertaker.
No, he's not. They died. Once there was 2 Undertakers.
Oh, yeah, that's true, wasn't there? $1 Million Man just built one out of, I don't know.
A spare body part.
Yeah, how do you build an Undertaker? I don't know where he found that.
Look,
Undertaker.
So there you go. There's been more than 1 Undertaker. The rumours are true.
Fair enough.
I like that rumour. Do you know that rumour stems back to childhood days where people would argue about how many Undertakers there's been.
Well, you'd have to confirm that one with Paul Bearer, because he's the one that...
He's his father. He fathered him.
He creates Undertakers, doesn't he? So.
He didn't create him, he fathered him.
Yeah.
Has the Undertaker's mother ever been featured?
No, but they should bring her in.
Yeah, they should. That would be a great storyline.
Should reveal that it's actually...
Linda McMahon.
Linda McMahon, or the Phoenix, the Glamazon.
Yeah, we'll still know Vince, of course, because he's...
crippled by
a falling light.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one. You had a nice little spiel at the start from Stephanie saying, please pray for Vince at this horrible time or something.
Did you pray for Vince?
I didn't, no. I didn't pray for Vince.
I would have prayed for him if I heard that.
He's an unethical wrestling promoter. I don't pray for people like that.
I don't know, I think he's quite ethical.
But so you got Vince, and then, Kane's thing at the end was fantastic. What else happened?
That's all I remember of Raw, to be honest.
Yep, that's pretty much it. So let's move on to the real serious.
Moving on, though, I remember I was criticising your whole wrestling moves last week, and you were telling me the sleeper hold is actually a very powerful
It is very powerful
technique. As you know, I've been away in Slovakia at a wedding, and there's obviously, they go on till late, they're pretty big people, they drink a lot. And I was quite worried, what if something happened? But, I'm Asian, so obviously a lot of Asian doctors in the family. Although I didn't follow that route. I went into law. I thought, as a wrestling fan, I've learnt a lot about resuscitating people. And one thing you see from the sleeper hold is, if someone's passed out, forget CPR and all that stuff, it doesn't work, just lift their hands up 3 times. And obviously if that doesn't work, you just need someone in a black and white shirt to kind of count, slam them out
slam the floor next to them.
Then obviously on the 3rd one they'll miraculously recover. You could have had the wedding guests kind of cheering the guy's name on, and that would have...
And why do they sell sleeping tablets? You could just pay a really sort of sweaty man in pants to come round and sort of hug you a bit. You'll just fall asleep. It's the easiest way to fall asleep. It'd save thousands on tablets if you could just hire someone to do that.
So you think you agree with me that?
I'm in agreement with you now. After retrospectively, there was one huge thing that we did notice, which I really wanted to talk about. Was we watched the Ultimate Warrior's comeback.
Well,
and I know last week we said we'll talk about it. But where do we start with that? Let's go from the actual beginning of the Ultimate Warriors.
We saw Orlando
Jordan. He's in the ring, sort of mincing, basically, not
doing hair, which is good.
Okay.
To see.
And then it says, "Welcome. This is the Ultimate Warrior," and then the Ultimate Warrior appears from a little sort of cave type thing, and then
he sprints out at some pace.
Oh, he doesn't sprint. The realisticness of it is that he doesn't sprint. He hobbles in a horrible manner that you feel so sorry that there's a 50-year-old man